Hey everybody, if you are tuning in right now, we're going to wait just a few minutes to see if we get some more participants on board or viewers via the YouTube channel. And then in just a few minutes, I will go ahead and get started with the presentation and then a Q&A later. Thanks. Welcome. If you are viewing or joining us now, we're going to wait till about 7:10 to get started. We have a few more YouTube viewers showing up, so we're going to wait till about 7:10, give people some more time to show up. So sit back, relax, and we'll begin in a few. If you're just checking in the room and joining us, we're going to get started in about 3 more minutes. All right, hopefully everybody can see me. We are going to get started now. Welcome to a Google Hangout. If you've never been in a Google Hangout before, it is a live video chatting system where up to 10 people can join. And right now, this is a Google Hangout on air. So we're actually broadcasting this on YouTube, and it's going to be recorded, and then it will be up for display on Cherry Tree's YouTube page later. So Google Hangouts are a lot of fun. There's lots of cool features like this one. So you probably see me with a monocle, or maybe I can put on my my goggles here, or I could be a pirate. So lots of really cool features on Google Hangouts to play around with, and hopefully we'll be able to use these from time to time this year. So there's one for the ages right there. I'm going to turn this one off and get rid of my headgear, hopefully. Let's see. There we go. And I have a presentation I'm going to start with, and it's probably about 10-15 minutes long. I'm just going to go through some things about myself and hopefully introduce myself to those of you who have not met me before. And from there, I'm going to take some Q&A. So if you are out there and you're actually joining us on the Hangout page and not the YouTube page, I think we've got one or two on the Hangout page. If you can hear me, if you could just put in the chat that you can hear me, that would be great. I've tested this microphone, but want to make sure that it's working properly. And I'm going to switch over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share. So I have a second screen here in my office, and I'm going to screen share that screen so that you can see it, and I will still be here in the background. So give me just a second. All right, so you're seeing my other screen there, which is a presentation that I'd like to kind of walk through so that you can get to know me a little better. So my name is Chris Atkinson, and if we have students out there joining with their parents, you can actually call me Mr. A. I always have my students call me that for many years, and it's a pretty easy one to remember. So feel free to just call me Mr. A. That way you can remember it. If you are in YouTube land and you're not actually joining the Hangout, you can actually submit questions by going to either one of these links. It's just a back channel link where you can submit a question, and I would be happy to answer that at the Q&A portion. If you're watching this recorded later and you have some questions for me that I didn't get a chance to answer, feel free to shoot me an email, and I will get back to you as soon as I can on those questions. So we will have just a little Q&A session at the end, and if you have questions, those are the links where you can actually submit those questions. And what that link looks like, I'll just pop that over on the other screen really quick. Hopefully, I don't think you can see that one. Let me go back here. This is what that will look like if you're in there and you want to put a question in there. So if you are watching via YouTube, that's the place where you can put a question. So, all right, a little bit about myself. So I am the new principal of Cherry Tree. Before that, I actually was the assistant principal at Collegewood Elementary in Carmel, and long before that, I taught for many years at Town Meadow Elementary. And while I was at Town Meadow, I taught 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, and 4-5 gifted and talented. A few of those years, I actually looped back and forth with my classes, so I had a few of those classes for 2 years in a row, which was a lot of fun. And actually, before I got my job at Town Meadow as a teacher, I did my student teaching at Cherry Tree Elementary. So it's a lot of fun to actually come back to the place where I started, a place that helped me kind of get started in my career in Carmel. I am a Google certified teacher, and you can kind of read a little bit about that. All you have to do is Google it. And Google takes 50 teachers a year to their teacher academy, and you have to submit a video and an application, and if you get selected, you go and train at one of their Google offices across the country. And I got to do my training in Boulder, Colorado back in 2009, and the greatest part about that is you get to be a part of a cohort of people that work together and work in conjunction with Google on new products for education, and we kind of get to be at the forefront of that, which is a lot of fun. I went to Taylor University for my undergrad and played football there for 4 years, so if we have any football fans out there, you will find my new office here heavily decorated with signed footballs and football jerseys and a very big football theme. I love sports, so I'm a big Colts fan. I'm originally from Cincinnati, so you see that Cincinnati Reds there, and love the Pacers and Sports Center, and sometimes people agree with this one and sometimes they don't, but I'm an Ohio State Buckeye fan. Being from Ohio, it's hard not to be, so I'm sorry if you're a Michigan fan out there. I did my master's degree at Ball State University, and I am one of 2 district trainers for the Crisis Prevention Institute in our district. We work on crisis prevention intervention and train. We've trained well over 1,000+ staff members in Carmel over the last few years, and so it's a wonderful program. Really helps us do what's best with kids when they're in crisis. So I love technology. As you probably noticed now, in the middle of a Google Hangout, I serve on the Indiana e-learning leadership cadre, and we actually work across the state in promoting technology and education and really to promote learning. I also blog and podcast at EdReach, and that guy in the corner I think represents what we do as educators a lot. We wear many, many different hats, and we all love it. So that is my family there in the corner. That's my wife, Mrs. A, and Mrs. A actually used to be a teacher too, and at one time we both were teaching 4th grade in different schools. She taught at Heritage Christian for many years, and I was teaching in Carmel. And that guy on my shoulders there, we're at Disney World, by the way. That was, I think, at hour 14 there, before the night parade. So we were pretty tired. But that guy on my shoulder there is my 5-year-old son, Asher, and he will be entering kindergarten. And then that other little ham there in the corner is Jesse, and he is 3 years old. So he's not quite ready for school yet. I love to design digitally on the computer and various things, and so that's kind of those icons you see up there at the top have to do with Adobe products that I use quite a bit, Photoshop and Illustrator After Effects is some video editing that I like to play around with. And down at the bottom there, next to the iPad and iPhone, is a pile of books. And the reason that pile of books is there is because I love learning. And you'll catch me reading a lot and soaking up new ways to grow as a professional, but also as a learner. And I think that's what we want for our kids too, is that we're a community of learning. And so that's me in a nutshell. Hopefully you were able to follow along and learn something new that you may not have known about me. That little icon, if you're a Spotify fan, I love music, so I love to listen to various types of music and listen to shows and things, and so that's what that one represents too. I wanted to mention I think this is a neat thing. When they were hiring me, I didn't know this at the time, but apparently the district worked with the teachers and the parents at Cherry Tree to really develop a leadership profile, something that they were looking for in their next principal. And so I wanted to review that because I think these are the things that I hold close to my heart in leadership as I lead the school and lead students and teachers. The first one that they talked about was being a good communicator. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that later, but I really strive to be a communicator not only verbally but in the written word. And so you'll see a lot of various communication from me in lots of different avenues. For example, tonight we're in this Google Hangout for those of you who are joining us, which I hope is something new if you've never tried it before, and hopefully something you're enjoying. And one other thing is a leader with integrity, and that's something that is very near and dear to my heart. I put in my life, my faith and my family always come first, and that helps drive what I do as a person of integrity. And so I hope to model that too for our students as we see them each and every day. The staff and I think the parents wanted to see a visible and engaging person, and so I hope that when you come to school, if you've come in the next couple weeks, I hope to get to meet many of you, and I've really worked hard to try to get out of the office here and see as many people as I can and get to know as many families and students that come in, and I'm just so excited to see so many people once school starts. And I think what you'll notice about me is I like to be in classrooms a lot. So I like to walk around the building. I like to see what kids are learning in classrooms and drop in and take part of learning. And so you'll see me as a very visible person. So, and if you're a student listening, you're probably going to see me a little bit engaging. We've got a pretty fun first day convo that we're planning right now. And I think we're going to look to do some fun stuff for our fundraiser this year. So be prepared. Another thing that the leadership profile talked about was being a relationship and consensus builder, and what that really works on is making sure that everyone is working on the same page and we have the same values in what we do. And so I'll work hard with our staff to establish those trust and relationships to make that happen. And part of that then is really being a visionary person. And so I'm really kind of looking at what are the things that we can improve upon and how can we inspire together to improve those things. And the other thing the profile discussed was being a solution-focused leader. So again, it's looking at what are the areas where we can make continuous improvement as a school and as teachers. And so the other thing was a child-centered school. And what we're really looking at here is that we put children at the center of what we do, that students always drive the decisions that we make, and that's very true to the person that I am. And the last thing was being a personable leader. So I'm a family guy. I'm a very personable person. I love people. I love working with people and talking to people, and so I think you'll come to find that out the more that you get to know me. So that was our backyard camping outing we had a few weeks ago. So a lot of fun. We go up to northern Minnesota every year, and we brought the tent up there, but they had so much rain that we couldn't put the tent down. So I promised my boys we'd try it in the backyard once we got home. And these are 5 leadership practices that kind of drive and sum up those things, but I keep this on my desk, and I've kept it on my desk for a number of years because it really defines the way that I want to lead our building and teachers. So, we model the way, we inspire that vision, we challenge the process around us, and enabling everyone to act forward and encouraging the heart of others. And then at the center, and I mentioned this at the beginning of what we do, is learning. And so I really want to strive that Cherry Tree is a learning community, and that we're not only just as a school, but as a community as a whole, really always focused on how we learn and looking at improving that process of all the time. And we want to have the mindset as educators, just like anyone does, is how can we constantly improve, looking at what we do and then thinking about how do we make improvements on that. One of the things I'm a school safety specialist in Indiana, and requires to go to several trainings. We kind of go for a 2-day stint every year, and this will be I think my 3rd year doing that, and it's a great partnership. The state of Indiana is one of the only states that actually offers school safety specialist training from the Department of Education. In our district, we have one of our goals is to have a school safety specialist in every building, and there's not a lot of districts across the state of Indiana that have that privilege. And we have a really great relationship with the Carmel Police Department and the National Association of School Resource Officers, and so we have great school resource officers that we work with throughout our district. All that to be said is safety is always a priority in what I do and what we do as a building, and so I hope that everyone always feels safe coming into Cherry Tree and while they're at Cherry Tree, and we strive for that. And so again, looking at, we're always going to be focused on, how can we make improvements, and students also focused on how can they improve their own learning as they look at where they're at and where they need to be and what they need to do to continuously improve and learn. That's going to be at the key. And what I want to do is, this is my first year here, I'm always looking at ways that as a building, what can we do to improve things. And so, we're already having those conversations and thinking about things that we will continuously build upon. And so we've got a great school here at Cherry Tree, and we're going to continue to look at it and improve it as best we can. I mentioned earlier that communication is extremely important to me, and I hope that you feel that thus far there's been just a lot of communication out to you as parents and stakeholders in our community, and you can kind of get involved in that through various channels. So we have a Cherry Tree Facebook page. If you get on Facebook, all you have to do is search Cherry Tree Elementary, and you'll find that Facebook page. We have a Google Plus page. There's not much on it yet, but it has been started, and we will continue to add things to it. One of the things that Google Plus allows us to do is kind of link up Hangouts that we might have. We have a YouTube page where this is actually being broadcasted live right now, where viewers can watch it anywhere in the world and tune in. And so our hope is that, as we reach out to parents that might be on vacation or it's hard to get out during the day and things, this is an avenue or a tool that we can use, or these Hangouts, and we can broadcast those via YouTube. We do have an Instagram page, so if you're on Instagram, you can search Cherry Tree Elementary, and you can subscribe to some of the pictures that we'll put out via Instagram. And then one of the main avenues of communication that we will use is via social media is Twitter, and so our Twitter handle is Cherry Tree ELEM. And so that's a really big avenue of communication that we'll use. And then there is now a blog, the Cherry Tree Elementary blog. So if you haven't had a chance to visit that yet, it's just cherrytreeelementary.com. That would be a great place to get started to kind of stay in touch with things going on throughout the building. And so I'm really big about communication, so I hope that you feel that that's going to be a positive thing that comes out this school year. So this is our Twitter page. So if you've not jumped into the world of Twitter, please think about doing that. We will update a lot of things on there, and this is just twitter.com/cherrytreeelem, and so that's an area that you can get in touch with us and follow things that are going on at the school. A few reminders. It's hard to believe, but tomorrow is August 1st. So the Ice Cream Social is August 11th from 4:30 to 6. And, you know, believe it or not, I believe there's going to be a dunk tank there. So it's going to be an exciting time. Kindergarten Orientation Night, August 11th, 6:30 to 8 o'clock. And class placements are going to be available in my CCS August 4th, and you will get parents, you will get a message from me via email on August 4th with lots more information. One of those important points will be the fact that your class placement list will be available on that day, and so you will be able to log on, or you should be able to log on and find out who your teacher is for the 2014-2015 school year. And if you can't log on that day, we will also have those lists available at the Ice Cream Social. So one of the things that I like to do, and we've done it my previous school, Collegewood, since I've been there, is we always think about a theme for the year, and we tie that theme into a lot of what we do. And this year, in talking with teachers, the thing that came up was, you know, they want to make what we do memorable, make what we do count every single day, and that the kids walk away with really a memorable experience for this year. And I thought that tied in really well to the fact that this is Cherry Tree's 25th anniversary, and that's a really exciting celebration for us as a building. And it's neat for me to actually think about the fact that, you know, I was a part of that as a student teacher many years ago, and so we really want to celebrate that. And so our theme this year is making it memorable, and we're just going to say make it memorable. So it's something you'll hear often, you'll see often, and we want to do that. We want to make what we do memorable. So make it memorable is our theme for the year. And that concludes our slides. I'm going to switch over now, and I'm going to try to answer a few questions here, and if we have other ones, then I can take those too. Let me turn this off. Hello. I think I got some good ones here. So exciting things that are going on this school year. Your teachers are getting ready for a very exciting year. In fact, many of them have been in for many hours preparing their rooms and getting ready. We have a new reading curriculum, which is really cool. It's actually part of National Geographic. So if you like science and you like social studies, it's going to be neat to see those things intertwined in what you read. But also, I think we're just going to have a lot of fun this year. We are going to make learning fun and make it memorable. And so you'll see me quite a bit. And you know, believe it or not, I'm going to try to get in the dunk tank, I think, on August 11th. So that's one way we're going to start out, by making things exciting. So make sure you come to that Ice Cream Social. And I bet some of you have a pretty good arm, or at least you will that night. A few other questions. I think I saw, let's see. Will I host Hangouts with my students? Well, I might host Hangouts with parents and students can attend, because you actually have to be 13 or older to do it alone. And so I want to make sure we follow those guidelines. I know many of you are tuning in with your parents tonight. I think somebody asked what my favorite food was. I love pizza. Really, yeah, a lot of pizza. So I like cheese pizza, sausage pizza. You know, I like Boom Bas and Pizzology. Those are probably two of my favorites. So I really like pizza. I like tacos too. You can't go wrong with tacos, fajitas, all of those great things. So I'm a pretty eclectic eater in general. So at this time, if you've got any other questions that you want to ask, you can type them in the chat. I'm going to check the other chat really quick just to make sure we don't have any there. And I don't think we do yet. All right, and let's see. I'm going to try to unmute some of you. If you have a question, you can ask. And if not, let's see. That's muted. Okay. Somebody question was, what kind of music do I listen to? I'm a very eclectic music listener. My favorite band is probably Need to Breathe. They're my favorite band. I really enjoy them a lot. Saw them live in concert this summer at the Murat Theater, and they were a really great live band. But I like classical, I like jazz, I like rock and roll. I am not into the boy band scene, just not my thing. But I'm a pretty eclectic listener beyond that. So one of my favorite concerts I ever went to was I saw Wynton Marsalis, who is a jazz player, at the Lincoln Center in Chicago once, and that was a really great experience. So I like all kinds of music. I really do. So I've got a very big music collection, and listen to Spotify quite a bit also. So, all right. Well, if there aren't, okay. So a few other ones. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So learning student names. Someone, it was said that knowing student names is really important to me. It is, and it's very important to me that I want to know students' names. So if you might have to help me out a little bit, students, as I kind of see you, and if I ask your name again, but I've already kind of memorized quite a few. Been looking at the yearbook, and as people meet me, I'm trying to remember those. I try to think about something personal to tie with the name that helps me remember the name. But I can say that, when I was at Collegewood, I knew a lot of my students' names, probably mostly all of them. So the kindergarten is always the new batch that comes in every year. So my challenge this year will be, I don't have just one new grade level to learn, but I have several grade levels to learn. But it is very, very important to me that I know students' names, and I look forward to getting to know all your names. So, any other questions? Oh, great question. Do I have any pets? I do have a pet. In fact, let me see if I can show you a quick picture of our pet. This was we like to call our pet. We have a dog. Her name is Daisy. We would like to say that Daisy was our first baby, our first little child, right? Because we had her well before we had any of our other kids, and so let me see if I can find a good picture of Daisy. Oh, you know what? I think I have one on my desk that I can show you. Let's see. So that is Daisy. There she is. She is a Westie, a West Highland White Terrier, and so she is about getting close to 8 years old now. So she's a fun dog. So that's our pet. Although we've talked about getting another Westie, I don't know if we're ready for that yet. My favorite subject in school. My favorite subject was always science and reading. I loved science. I loved kind of learning just new things about the world, and I was an avid nonfiction reader. So I didn't always enjoy reading fiction as a child, but I was the type of kid that you saw with like the book about the planets or the book about sports. So I always loved to read nonfiction, which is pretty funny because that's probably what I still enjoy reading the most is nonfiction. Although I do enjoy a good novel here and there. Okay, will I dress up as Patriot George? Was the question. I have not seen the Patriot George costume yet, so I'm not sure. I could never fit fully in the Cardinal costume at Collegewood. So I'm sure if I can fit in the Patriot George costume, I might give it a shot. Any other questions? Let's see. Somebody said we can get you one. A custom fit George, that would be good. All right, so if you are viewing this via YouTube, and maybe you're viewing this recording live, or maybe you're viewing it after the fact, and if you're viewing it after the fact and you have some questions that you didn't get to get part of it and get answered, feel free to send those questions via email, and I would be happy to send those back to you. again, I really look forward to getting to know everyone at Cherry Tree. And like I said tonight, one of my biggest things is going to be communication. And so I hope that you feel that there's a lot of avenues of open communication. And again, I look forward to partnering with you as parents. As a parent myself, I know how incredibly important it is that you trust your school and that you have full confidence in what we do. And you know, we are going to make it a memorable year. We're going to make it a great year here at Cherry Tree for 2014-2015. So look forward to meeting you students. Thanks for tuning in. If you tuned in tonight, I really look forward to getting to know you. So thanks, everybody. And just for fun, one more time for those of you who were here earlier, I've got to show you one. Let's see if I can do one more of these. There's my Google sweatband. So we also could do the party hat. And there's this one. Okay. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you later.